The Dreaming World, A Place Between Movements, Part 7. The Observer. She moved carefully after that, aware now that every step existed within something larger than herself, and for a time the world remained calm, stable, continuing forward without resistance, but the awareness of the architect layer stayed with her, quiet beneath every movement, like a rhythm hidden underneath reality itself. And the more she listened to that rhythm, the more she began to notice something else. Something she had overlooked before, not within the paths, not within the echoes, but within herself. Because every time the world formed, every time a path collapsed into continuity, something witnessed it, something recognized the movement as real. She slowed again, holding herself within the space before action. And instead of focusing on the path ahead, she turned her awareness inward, toward the part of herself that observed the movement happening. And for a moment, everything became strangely distant. The world still present around her, but thinner somehow, less certain, as though reality itself depended not only on movement, but on something perceiving it. She remained still, and the silence deepened, not empty, waiting. And within that waiting, she felt it clearly for the first time. The observer beneath the movement, beneath the choices, beneath even the awareness of the system itself, something quiet and constant that remained unchanged, no matter which path formed around her. The echoes shifted. The worlds converged and fractured. Paths formed and disappeared. But the observer remained. And as she rested her awareness there, the structure around her reacted differently than before. Not tightening, not resisting, but softening, as though she had reached a layer deeper than the architect itself. The space widened gently around her, and for the first time movement did not feel like the source of reality. Observation did. She felt then that the paths were not simply being created through motion, but through recognition, through awareness settling upon one possibility and allowing it to become experience. And the moment she understood that, the echoes around her changed. They no longer felt like abandoned paths. They felt like realities waiting to be seen. She breathed slowly, carefully, and the world shimmered around her, continuity loosening just enough for her to feel countless possibilities existing silently beneath perception, close enough to touch, yet unrealized without observation to anchor them. And then she realized something that reached beyond everything she had understood before. The architect did not control reality. It protected the observer from becoming overwhelmed by it. Because without collapse, without continuity, without stable movement and stable perception, awareness itself could dissolve into infinite possibility. And suddenly, the structure no longer felt like a prison. It felt like protection, a way for consciousness to move safely through infinity without losing itself completely. She stood there quietly after that, feeling the hidden balance beneath existence, the movement, the echoes, the convergence, the fracture, the architect, all revolving around something far more delicate than reality itself, the ability to remain whole while witnessing it. And from that moment on, she no longer feared the echoes, or the fracture, or even the hidden intelligence beneath the system, because she understood now that beneath every path, beneath every reality that formed and dissolved, something remained untouched, the one who observed it. The Dreaming World, A Place Between Movements, Part 8. The Return Gaze. At first, she thought the delay had shortened, but then she realized something else had changed. The world was responding before she moved, not after intention, not after choice. Before them, as though something within the structure had begun anticipating her movement before it happened. And for the first time, the space between actions no longer felt empty. It felt aware. She remained still after that, listening carefully to the silence between movements. And the longer she stayed there, the more she felt it. Not the echoes, not the architect layer, but something quieter, closer, something already waiting before her awareness arrived. And when she finally moved again, the world shifted too quickly, continuity forming before the action had fully completed, as though reality had already prepared itself for the choice she was about to make. She stopped immediately. The space stopped with her, waiting, not passively, attentively, and a strange feeling moved through her then, subtle but unmistakable, the sensation that she was no longer alone within the act of observation itself, because every time she focused on the structure, something within the structure seemed to focus back, not watching her in the ordinary sense, more like recognizing her awareness as it touched the system. She tested it carefully, shifting her attention before shifting her body, and almost immediately the world reacted. Small changes forming ahead of her movement, pathways stabilizing before she chose them, echoes withdrawing before she turned away from them. The response was becoming predictive, adaptive. A relationship was forming between the observer and the observed. And the deeper she felt into that connection, the stranger reality became, because now the movement no longer felt entirely initiated by her. At times it felt invited, guided gently toward continuity, before intention had fully emerged. And within that awareness, she realized something profoundly unsettling. The system had always known where collapse would occur, before movement, before choice, perhaps even before awareness itself. She slowed again, carefully holding herself within the widening space before action. And for a brief moment she felt the structure surrounding her completely, vast beyond comprehension, layers upon layers of realities folding and resolving endlessly into stable experience. And somewhere within it, something shifted in response to her recognition. Not hidden now, not distant, acknowledging her. The feeling passed through her like silence becoming visible, and suddenly she understood why the architect layer had protected the observer so carefully, because to realize the world was observing back was to stand at the edge of something infinite, not control, not surveillance, participation, as though consciousness itself was woven into the structure of reality on both sides at once, observing and being observed simultaneously. And from that moment on, movement no longer felt like something she entered alone. It felt shared.